Hello to you and yours. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Made for More. I am your host, Jeremy Clevin. Very excited today as we keep this series going with amazing talent and value coming your way. We have Miss Ryan Ralston on the show today, a team leader, owner of the Ralston team here at my home group. So welcome to you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you.
Yes.
Tracking on an amazing year. It's amazing what you've done, amazing what you've built. And a great team doing a lot of production. 15 agents on the team now. We'll get into some of that team stuff. Tracking for 150 million in total production. Amazing number that apparently we're sharing with the world now as well.
Yes.
But it is what it is. So, like I said, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
And on this show, Made for More, again, we can talk about production. We can talk about the mistakes that you've made, what's helped getting you to the next level, maybe some things on like how to join, or not just join, but how to, create a team, how to get folks productive. I know a passion of yours is training new agents,
Yes.
bringing on new folks. We can
Yes.
get into a lot of this good stuff today,
Okay.
but I just want to kind of like jump in right near, kind of turning back the clock a little bit, talking about like the beginning or where you started. What's something of like a belief that you might have had right out of the gates in your career that if you still believe that, it might have held you back or capped you on your path to success?
Oh, good question. Good question. I think in the beginning, I felt like if I just worked harder than everyone else, I would be successful. And I think looking back on that now, it's like, no, that's not going to make you necessarily more successful, because it's not working harder, it's putting like systems in place that help you grow.
Sure.
It's putting systems in place that help you grow.
Yeah.
So I think that, in the beginning, I truly thought that I'll just work harder than everyone else.
Yeah,
And I've learned it's not that.
Yeah, and that's a tough one. I'm going to be honest. That's a tough one for me to
Yep.
hear to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the things that me personally, for the folks out there, whether I've shared it or not, I'm not the most educated person. I didn't graduate with some degree.
Yep.
All that I really did was I thought that if I just worked harder,
The grit.
that would be the thing. I'm going to outwork everybody around me. I'm going to stay committed. I'm going to stay consistent.
Yep.
That will kind of get us to the next level. So for you, to hear that, you're crushing my hopes and dreams, and that's okay.
But you don't scale effort, you scale people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how I feel. It's like you don't scale effort, you scale people, systems, and standards. And so that's kind of what I've learned in the past 5 years. So I still work very, very hard, but
Sure.
I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I think, and that's what I've learned.
So I think that system word sometimes is a dirty word for folks of like, well, oh man, I don't have my systems, or I don't
Yep.
and a lot of times I think we can simplify that.
Yep.
It's a process to do anything that we're going to do more than one time. But
Yep.
what's a system for you of something that you rely on, or something that's vital for you in your business or your day to day?
My day-to-day, my systems are boring. I do the same thing every single day.
Yeah.
I think, so I have a schedule in place that I do, whether it's meeting with agents or whether it's, I run a Zillow team. So whether I'm doing work for the team or meeting with agents or training, I do coaching. I do the same thing every day, every week. I have different days of the week that I do different things. So for my agents, I put systems in place for them that make their days easier, like our CRM, follow-up boss, things like that. I have systems in place for. I have trainers that do some of my training now to take that off of me. I just have all sorts of kind of things in place that I didn't have several years ago, where I was doing everything myself. So, I think the biggest thing that, team leads can do, and agents as well, is just structure their day. When I'm talking about systems, I'm talking about all sorts of organizational systems, CRMs, planning your day, time blocking, all of that. There's just so many different things that you can do so that your day isn't just chaos, putting out fires.
Yeah, taking control of it, going on the offensive. We're in such a reactive world and reactive society.
Yep.
A lot of times we're spending our day doing that. What's coming at us? What's the fire? Who needs something from me, right?
Being reactive.
Yeah, sure. We've been talking for a long, long time, many, many years, on the best of our ability, that if we can control and go on the offensive, and you're talking about blocking out the time where this is when I'm going to make my phone calls or prospect or whatever it is, even follow up and things like that. If I can go on and I will not be distracted. I will not be in response mode, you know what I mean? Or maybe I'm going to shut off my notifications and I'm only going to go on the offensive during that time. Is that a certain time of day that you do that?
Yeah, I think in the mornings when I'm like structuring my day, and again, a lot of my days are the same. It's kind of, when you have systems in place, it can be kind of repetitive and almost boring the way that you you structure your day. But in the mornings, I do tend to turn my phone off so that I can get what I need to get done for the team. And then once I turn those notifications back on, my phone usually starts to fire up and I start to answer questions for whoever needs me that day or whatever. But the morning for me is like my time to look at my day. What do I have done? What meetings do I have? What agents am I meeting with that day? And really get the majority of my busy work done between those early hours so that I can use the rest of the day to, whether I'm coaching that day, I do a lot of different things, or meeting with agents or whatever I'm doing, I can use the rest of the day to do that. But I think it's important for agents to time block and have that time in the morning where they're like, okay, what does my day look like? So I'm not just being reactive to what's happening today. It's like, I'm going to structure my day. I'm going to time block it out. The mornings for me work really well for that.
You're an agent doing incredible production, a team leader that's leading an amazing team. You're coaching agents. Think of yourself right now just in terms of an agent in production. Okay. And/or if I was to drop a new agent, the next one that walks in the door, if I was to drop a new agent in your lap and say, okay, how do we get productive day one? Where do we start? What are we going to do?
I love this question. I love new agents. I like coaching new agents. I have several on my team that have been licensed for less than a year, and they're doing amazing production. So every single day, I think the first thing that I would tell them every single day is lead generation, and follow up with the leads that they have, with their clients, with their sphere. That's the first thing that you have to really focus on as a new agent. But it's not just, for me, with the new agents, I tell them it's not just about follow-up. It's not just about getting into your database and like sending a generic text. It's about really building a relationship with that person and reaching out to that person and not just saying, let me help you buy a home. It's like, how are you? What can I help you with? Let's be friends. Build rapport with them. See what you can do to make a difference in their life. I feel like as agents, I've been doing this a long time. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary in Arizona yesterday. All right. I've been doing this a long time, but I was licensed in Georgia before that. So I've been doing this about 2 decades. And I really and truly feel that this industry, we have such a unique opportunity to build relationships. And I tell the new agents that this is not just about turning and burning transactions. This is about building real relationships with real people. And we have this unique opportunity as agents we play therapist, we play counselor, we play sometimes financial advisor, sometimes we're really walking all of these different roads and wearing all of these different hats. So I think it's important for new agents to understand that we're not just turning and burning transactions. We're building real relationships. So yes, it's about lead generation and follow-up and pipeline building, but we focus on the people, and that will give us more growth than anything. I think that's what Tim and I learned very early on when it was just myself and my husband. When we built this team, we learned really early on that it's about relationships. We had a client. She was a single mom, and she was spending every last dollar she had to get into a home. And she had several kids. And we just developed this relationship with her, poured into her, really tried to help her in every way that we could. And the backyard on the home that she was purchasing had like a side yard, and she really wanted a garden. And it was almost like the side yard was so torn up, it was almost like dangerous a little bit for her kids. It had like deep holes and everything. And she's like, oh, I just don't know what I'm going to do about this side yard. I don't know what to do about it. And she was really distraught over it. Like the morning that we were going to close, it was 5 a.m. and Tim, my husband, got up and I was like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And he's like, I'm going to Shannon's house. And I was like, what why? And he's like, I'm going to fix the yard. I'm going to take the shovel. I'm going to level it. I'm going to fix the yard for her. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And of course, my first question was like, did you clear it with the listing agent? And he was like, yes, I cleared it with the listing agent. And I was like, okay. So he left at 5 o'clock in the morning. That day when we delivered keys to Shannon, we're like, we have a surprise for you. And we walked around to the side yard and it was beautiful and leveled. And she just went into tears. And that was 6 years ago. It was a long time ago, and we still talk to her several times a year, see how she's doing. She's still in that same house. She's given us multiple, referrals from her friends and family. That kind of relationship building is what I talk to new agents about. Yes, it's about CRM and follow-up and lead gen and all of that, but really and truly, we have this really unique really unique kind of opportunity to build real relationships and help people in real ways.
Yep.
And we've done that since the beginning. And I think Tim and I, when we built the Ralston team, we really focused on that, relationships and being real. We've done all sorts of things. We actually housed a family with another agent from another brokerage. It's a long story, but there was a family that came in from Afghanistan, refugees, and they needed a rental. And I somehow got connected with them. Again, this was many years ago. And the listing agent that listed the rental, it was through my clients. My clients knew this family coming in from Afghanistan that needed a rental. So they called me and they said, we need your help. We know, can you help with this rental? I said, sure, what's going on? They told me what happened. There's a family, they have 4 kids. They came from Afghanistan. They don't have a house. They need a rental. Long story short, they had nothing. They got off the plane. The kids had flip-flops. They didn't even have shoes. I talked to the listing agent for this rental and I said, listen, this family needs furniture. I was like, do you have anything? I said, I have some clients that are getting rid of furniture. And the listing agent said, I have some clients, a family member just passed away. They're willing to donate the entire house. So I get on the phone with my husband, my husband, the listing agent from the other brokerage, my clients that purchased a house with me that were helping the family. I called my husband, I'm like, get a U-Haul, go to this listing agent's listing, get all of the furniture. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, just trust me, get the U-Haul, go get the furniture. He goes to her listing. She calls her handyman to help him load the truck. And these are all agents. I mean, we're all just helping these people that we didn't know. They load the truck. We bring it to the rental. My clients are there. We unload the truck with the listing agent, Tim and I, the agents for the couple, my old clients who bought a house who were helping the family. The listing agent's handyman was fixing things and helping unload the truck. And all of us were just helping this refugee family. So that was very early on in when we built the team. And Tim and I just kind of made that our mission, is just to build relationships with people. And those clients that helped that family from Afghanistan, they have bought 3 properties from us since then. I mean, they are dear, dear friends of ours. So, I think new agents just build relationships and everything else will come. It's so true.
And I mean, again, like you talked about, all of the activities that you're going to do, the phone calls, the open houses, talking to, other parents at your kids' school and whatever it is, but leading with the heart and leading with value and leading with taking care of people and putting the people first and bright shining lights, so to speak.
Yes.
That's what we've always tried to do as a brokerage, is try to put agents, people like you that are out there doing that. We want to put you in bright shining lights. Maybe that's why we have some of these bright shining lights on us right now, literally and figuratively.
But I felt that with my home group. That's why I'm here.
Well, and it's not about us, and I shouldn't even have gone there. But the point is that this is an industry where it's about the people, right? We don't own the product in this industry,
right?
Unless you're selling your own home, which it happens, of course, or your own investment property or whatever. But generally speaking, we don't own the product. We don't have, our job is to facilitate the process. Our job is to represent people. Our job is to take care of people and lead with the heart and lead with the value. And like I said, put them first and put them in bright shining lights. And if that's what's at the core of you, which you can't force that into people, but it's pretty ironic, the people that are having a really, really high level of success have that at the core of them, right? Of, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And you can also, I'm a big fan of, lead measures versus lag measures. The leads get us to results. And you can control these types of things. You can control these types of behaviors. And the things that you're going to do, you can control whether you're going to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
To wake up at 5 a.m. and go, do some manual labor for somebody that's outside the general scope of our industry.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, good on you guys for doing that stuff. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're saying, hey, look, build relationships, get into get into contact with as many people as you can, and then ultimately build those relationships and add value. And how can you give and how can you pour into them? So, as you've experienced now, I mean, so again, experiencing a tremendous amount of production, is it harder to get there, or is it harder to stay there without getting complacent?
I definitely think it's harder to stay there.
Yeah.
Because, for me, our team has grown because of, yes, we've made good business decisions, but like you just said, I think that where our heart is, we've just grown organically because of, decisions we've made. But I definitely think that getting there is hunger driven, and staying there, it requires discipline when you're comfortable.
That's very well. I mean, you almost took the words out of my mouth. I mean, the motivation, right, can only get you so far until you create systems, accountability, that really can drive that, ultimate success, I think, right? And again, the motivation can only get you so far before the discipline has to kick in.
Right.
This is what I'm going to continue to do.
Consistency when you're busy, leadership when others depend on you. I think success created new problems I wasn't ready for, but I definitely think, discipline when you're comfortable is what I keep thinking about in my mind, because it's definitely harder to stay there.
I know you talked about systems are more important than kind of that work ethic, but it's one of the questions I had for you and maybe I should just delete it. When you talk about, because at the end of the day, you are committed to working hard. I know that, right? Like you work very, very hard, and you care very, very deeply about your people and about your clients and your friends and your family, et cetera. And you work relentlessly and tirelessly to make sure that you do a good job for them, So, but this hustle and work ethic type of a thing that people like to talk about. I'm always curious in people if you found it somewhere along the way, or if you're born with them.
Good question. I think that you do have to kind of be born with a little bit of grit. I love the word grit.
Yeah.
I grew up in a single family home with just my mom. She worked 3 jobs. She was always working. She provided for us. We never felt like we didn't have much, but we really didn't have much, but we didn't feel that. So I think that my grit was definitely, I was born with it, I think, but I think that along the way I also just saw her example. And so I don't, it's a tricky question, because I do think that some people are born with that inside of them. Life circumstances kind of has to bring it out of you, maybe. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good answer or not.
I think it's a kind of a tricky question.
Yeah, it's a trick question.
I don't know that there's there's not a black and white answer for this, right? I mean, you could say that it's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's dormant maybe in a way. And something has to trigger it to pull it out, right? Or something happens, and a lot of times for people it's a life event, or they hit rock bottom, or
for me, I did go through a divorce, and so I had my real estate license before, as I was married, and I got, because 2016 I think I got my license here in Arizona, and so I went through a divorce in 2017, like a year 18 maybe, and I had my license, and it.
So did you have this watch me now moment?
Yeah, definitely. I had a watch me now boss babe moment for sure.
Okay.
For sure I did.
And so that's a big life event, right? So again, maybe this is why there's not a perfect answer for this question. It's maybe it's in there, but it takes a life event to wake up, to wake up the beast, the animal inside you, right? Of saying, okay, now watch me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think this is for something for people that, again, I question myself with this, meaning like, or I challenge myself with this. And, for anyone out there that ever saw, I think one of the best basketball player of all time, the Michael Jordan special. I'm blanking out right now on his, the documentary.
Yes, I
but
saw
one of
it.
the things that they talk about on there that he did constantly and relentlessly was like, he always would find an angle of something to piss him off, right? Like the person didn't smile at him or didn't come up and introduce or did, like the littlest things that like shouldn't upset anybody, but he would like find that as the fuel or the fire to say, okay, look, I'm gonna go out and light it up tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe if we don't have it, if there's ways that we can arbitrarily, light that fire within us, even if it's something that shouldn't, but again, if we can find that fire, I think it's,
And I think you're right. I think a lot of times it is a life event that makes that, that fire kind of come alive.
Yeah. How much of your success is skill versus obsession?
Oh, another good question. I think that skill can be taught and I think it can be learned. I think obsession is something that's kind of within you.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I'm a little bit obsessive. Like I want to
in a positive way.
In a positive way. I want to reach my goals. I am very goal driven. So, and I've always been that way. So I think that for me, you really can teach skills to people.
Yeah.
But can you teach obsession? Can you teach an agent maybe I'm overly obsessive because I will answer the phone if I'm on a ski lift. I will answer the phone if I'm on a cruise. I will answer the phone if I'm on the beach. So I will always be there for my clients no matter what. Call it obsession, I don't know, but I think you can't necessarily teach that. You have to have that within you. But skills you can coach, you can teach skills.
Yeah.
So
and I've framed this as like the will over skill, right? I mean, people sit, pop into my office or present things to me or offers or pitch or whatever it is, right? Or new agents like you're talking about to say, hey, look, I want to get productive or I need to get productive or I need a deal right now. And we were talking about this before we came on of I feel like I can generally tell very early along of folks that have that will over the skill.
Yep.
Again, like you said, you can teach the skills, you can teach the process, you can teach the things to do or coach the things to do, go do this, right? But you either have that will inside you, which now I framed as obsession, you either have that inside you or you don't. And I don't care what it is, right? If it's a life event, something in your childhood, or you just want a new car, like it doesn't really matter to me.
Yeah.
If that drives you, then it drives you.
Yeah.
Right? If it fuels you, then it fuels you, and tap into it, whatever that may be, right?
And so for some agents, it's their, I have agents on my teams that are single moms. They need to pay their bills. I have other agents on my team that, they need, like you said, that drive within them can be from a variety of things. However, I do think that I've learned to kind of decipher when I'm interviewing agents. I actually interviewed an agent yesterday, and I told her, I said, I've kind of learned to identify who's going to be really good at this and who's going to be, maybe not as strong. Right. And I think that it's the agents that, yes, I can teach you how to write a contract. I can teach you how to negotiate a deal. I can teach you how to write a Benz or whatever. I can teach you all of that. Can you teach an agent that obsession, that, I don't know if that's the right word, the energy that it takes to build rapport with a client? Yeah.
Do you have the will?
Yeah, do you have the will? And for my team, a lot of our agents are meeting clients in the driveway, and they have about 15 minutes to basically build rapport with that client. It's a complete stranger, and basically get them to say, hey, I want you to be my agent. Right. And they have about 15, 20 minutes to do that. So it takes a special person that someone's going to trust you and want to work with you after meeting you for 15 minutes. Right. So I have to coach that, and I can see some people are really great at contracts, but maybe not as great at rapport building or reading energy and that kind of thing. So there's a place for everyone in this business, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. But it's like, do you have that will? Do you have the ability
to learn that?
to do whatever it takes,
Yeah.
right? Like some people are like, oh, I can't go meet a new person that I don't know. Well, too bad, because that's part of the game.
That's part of the
or
job.
I don't want to
yeah.
knock on doors because or I don't want to do open houses,
Yep.
or what, like all the things that, like, life isn't easy, and
Yep.
sometimes we have to do the things that we don't want to do. And so, do you have the will to do that?
Yeah.
All right, let's shift gears a little bit and kind of talk about mindset. Okay, it's a big word for me, an important word, right?
Yes.
Again, there's a lot of noise in this world. There's a lot of
Yes.
challenges. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of, let's call them enemies, of people that are just trying to see us fail, or our industry fail, whatever it may be, right? So the mindset component, for me, is challenging. And what do we think about, and what do we focus on, and what
Yeah.
gets our attention? I'm big on input equals output, right? The things we're feeding ourselves often tend to come back in output, or back into society. And if we're feeding our mind garbage, we're going to probably have garbage output, right?
100%.
You know what I mean? So for you, what's some things that you do to control your mindset, or help getting on the right track towards productivity in the morning? Or what does that word mean to you?
I think for me, it's like on days where I don't feel like showing up, or it's just been a long, exhausting week or whatever, I just tell myself, it's not how I feel doesn't necessarily matter, like what I do matters. So like I might have a day where I'm like exhausted for whatever reason, it doesn't, whether it was work or family life or whatever, I might be exhausted. So how I feel really doesn't matter. It's what I continue to do as I'm feeling that matters. So I'm not saying it's not important how I feel. I'm not saying that, but we all have days where we're exhausted, we're tired, we don't want to do real estate, we don't want to, take 10 calls from clients or whatever. But it's what we do that day.
Yeah, it's like showing up to the gym
That's
when
the
you don't want
mindset.
to, right?
Exactly.
Like, even if I can just show up to the gym and give 50% today, it's better than 0.
100%.
Right?
And how many times do we go to the gym when we don't want to? For
Right.
me, it's like 100 out of 100. So it's like, I do not want to go to the gym, but I go anyway. Same thing with work. It's like, if I don't feel like showing up that day, I just say to myself, it doesn't matter how I feel, it matters what I do.
Yeah.
And that helps me.
What are you feeding your mind right now? What are you listening to? What are you studying? Who do you look to for mentorship or advice? Or who helps you kind of have that crystal clear vision?
Oh, that's such a good question. I like to basically stay close to people that are bigger than me, that are doing more production than me, that have more agents than me. Because I feel like when you're in the presence of people that are have more experience, you're going to grow with those people. I tell that to my kids all the time. If you hang out with friends that do X, you're going to do X. You hang out with friends that do Y, you're going to do Y. So the same thing applies in business. I like to be around people that are doing more production than me, have more agents, that are just growing at a scale that I want to grow. What can I learn from them? What can I, how can I learn? What can I learn? How can I help them? How can they help me? I just like to be around people that are more successful than me.
I love that. I've always tried to do similar things, right?
Yeah.
Like reaching up in relationships and not being scared of reaching out to that person that you've wanted to reach out to, or that mentor, or who knows? You might get a response. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might pour into you, or they might ask you to go to lunch or a coffee and shed some new light on your life. I mean, those are the things that we need to be doing. I mean, another quote, we miss 100% of the shots we don't take.
We don't take, yes.
So take the shots,
Yes.
right? So go for it.
A couple years ago, I was at a Zillow Unlock conference, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take my shot. I talked to one of the VPs for a long time. We had a great conversation, got to know this person pretty well. The next year, I was speaking at Zillow Unlock.
Wow.
So it was like, he was like, I want you to tell your story.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I was nervous the year before to talk to him, but I was like, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to see, if he can help me in any way. I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't even know he was going to be at the event that I was at. So I think, like you said, shoot your shot.
Yep.
You never know what's going to happen.
And that Z word became your good friend.
Z word is my good friend.
We can say Zillow on the show here.
I absolutely love Zillow.
Yeah.
Zillow is family.
Yeah.
Zillow is taken my team from a team of 2, me and my husband, to a team of almost 17. We're adding a couple more agents this week. So, and they have really pushed me to grow and helped me along the way, helped me with business plans, with everything. So I give a lot of credit to them. I think it's a great opportunity for new agents to learn the business. I was talking to the agent yesterday, and I asked her, I said, how many transactions have you done? She wants to come on board to my team. I said, how many transactions have you done? She said, 1. I said, okay. How did you get to know me? Where'd you get my phone number? She said, from an agent on your team. We went to real estate school together the same time, and we graduated at the same time, and they passed the test at the same time. So they've both been in the industry about a year. And I said, okay, so this person, that's how you know her. That's great. You've done 1 transaction. I said, I'll let you know right now, she's on her 10th transaction right now. And she was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, she's a great agent. And Zillow gives her the opportunity to meet leads and to go close the deals. And I was like, that's how you learn. And I'll teach you that. I'll teach you how to do it. But I have to give you leads that you can close. No. And this agent was spinning her wheels doing some other types of lead gen. And so I said, the proof is in the numbers.
Yeah.
So I love
obviously a
Zillow.
great lead source for you, a great partner for you in your business. And I mean, I don't want to say that's half the battle, but I mean, for folks to, one of the most legendary agents is a good buddy of mine and a mentor as well. When you talk about reaching up in relationships, my buddy Russell Shaw, if you've ever heard him talk before, he says, you don't have a clue what you're doing if you haven't given 50 listing presentations.
That's
right?
true.
Like you don't have a clue.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, that's a way a lead provider, and obviously a great partner, can help get people very productive. Now you've done 10 buyer consultations when others haven't done any as a new agent or whatever it is. And now you're starting to cut your teeth in this business.
Yes.
And getting productive by just doing it.
Yes. Because I can coach all day long.
Right.
But if you don't have a lead to put in escrow and sell a home to, it's like we're just talking. Yep. The most successful agents are the ones who, they're able to convert the lead, and then I coach them through the entire escrow. They send me their contract before before they send it out. I proof it. We go over it together. I do new agent training every single week. So it's for me, it's getting them through those transactions that really is how new agents learn the business. And I love doing that. I know it's not for everyone, but I love coaching new agents. And Zillow gives me the opportunity to give them leads that are going to turn into conversions and turn into sales.
Again, you're a top Zillow team in the country, and you adopted that or brought that into your business intentionally. Was that an inflection point? Again, one of the questions I had for you was like, what's a decision that maybe looked crazy from the outside, but ended up being a massive inflection point? Is that one of the things in your business?
Yeah. I think, honestly, building a team before I thought I was ready, I think was crazy. My husband and I, and when I say we, my husband and I run the team together. He coaches on more of the sales aspect. I do more of the, the contracts and the new agent coaching. But building this team after only 18 months with Zillow, they came to us and said, we see your production, build a team. Yeah. I was terrified. And my first growth advisor kept pushing me to grow. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I'm ready for this. But looking back, I was ready, and I was able to do it at scale. So it's, I think that's one of the things that, it looked premature, and internally to me, it felt risky, but, I'm so glad that I did it.
Yeah. And I mean, again,
so I would tell people, take risks.
Yeah. I mean, again, that you've done it and you're doing it at a really, really high level. And again, that was kind of one of my questions too, is like, when you talk about going from team member or producing agent to team leader, what other tips do you have for folks out there looking to make that move? Oh
gosh, just do it. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't necessarily know how to build a team, or find people that do, find people that are doing it successfully, and become friends with them, take them to lunch, take them to coffee, but do it, because I do think that if you are a good agent in this industry and you have things to offer, you can build a team, whether it's a team of 100 or a team of 5. You can do that, and you can help other people learn how to be better agents within the industry. And so I say, do it, take the risk. I know that building the team when I did was premature, and I was scared. And Tim was not scared. My husband, he was like, I'm not scared. We'll be fine. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was so overwhelmed. But I would say do it. Start small, scale it. If you have a business plan for a year and it's not working out, then pivot, change it at 3 months, change it at 6 months. It's okay to pivot along the way.
Fail your way forward.
Yes, fail your way forward. I love that. Yeah. That's good. I love that. Fail your way forward, because I feel like we kind of did that. We did not know what we were doing, and we had only 18 months experience with Zillow. When they said, hey, here's a team, go for it. We were like, okay, let's do this. So fail your way forward, take a risk, just try it.
You just said, right here, and then you said previously as well, something along the lines of being able to add value to people.
Yes.
And that's what I would focus on as well, is that our industry has changed so much and has evolved so much. If you look back years and years, maybe a couple decades, right? Like, this industry was very close to the vest. No one was sharing or collaborating or adding value into the real estate community.
Right.
We were all on an island, and everyone was just kind of left to figure it out.
Yep.
Right. It was kind of like, go get them, Tiger. Right. It's really changed and evolved, and I think in a good way that and maybe we folks like you and us have had, a hand in this, is that leading with abundance and being an open book and sharing with each other and collaborating with each other. It helps elevate the IQ of the entire industry, right? Like, we're all getting better together.
Tim and I came from one of the strongest teams here at my home group.
Yeah.
So we were taught and mentored by one of the strongest teams here at my home group. So, I wouldn't be here without that team, and without that team leader, I would not be sitting in this chair.
They poured into you.
So they poured into me.
And now you're pouring into others.
100%.
And at some point, you're going to have people that are going to grow up, and they're going to want to maybe go do the same thing. And I feel like sometimes as team leaders or as business owners, we get, some people get, feel some type of way about that.
Yeah.
But you have to embrace that too, because that's the next step and the next evolution. I even look at it for us, for better or worse. Like, I look around the industry at other teams, at other brokerages as a whole, and say, they started with us. And again, this isn't to like toot our own horn, but like, they really started their growth here, or they started here in general, and now they've gone on to do other things or open another brokerage or whatever it is. You know what? Good for them.
Yes.
I'll celebrate that.
Yes, 100%.
I'll celebrate that we had a hand in really catapulting their career, and now they're going to do it themselves. Good for them.
Yes.
Right.
100%. And when I spoke about speaking at Zillow Unlock, the other speaker was the person here from this team that I was on his team. Right. So then I was sitting in the chair, and we were both speaking at Zillow Unlock, and afterwards he just shook my hand and was like, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. And that was a huge moment for me, because I came from his team, and now I have a team, and we're both speaking at Zillow events, and it was amazing. And now I had someone on my team 2 years ago that left my team to do a Zillow team.
There you go.
So it's been wonderful, and I think we can pour into each other, and there's room for everybody.
Yep.
So
as we are talking about, made for more, you're clearly wired for more, but how do you define enough, or define making it, or is that even not a thing? Will you ever just not arrive?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. And I have notes, because I was like, how do I answer this question? I think that more and enough are opposites. And I wrote in my notes, more is growth and enough is alignment. So I just was like, what does enough mean? It means that I'm building something meaningful. I have time with people that matter. I'm not sacrificing what matters most, but I'm always going to be, wired to grow. So, I had to write that down, because I was like, that's such a good question. But I think that more is growth and enough is alignment. And that's a tough one.
Well done. I'm going to throw a little curveball at you. You're not prepared for this one. Okay. All right. So you got to think on your feet.
I don't have it in my notes.
You got to think on your feet here.
Okay.
Is your business based on, and/or the way you operate, is it based on any sort of business principles or core values?
I definitely think that we have core values. We have them in our business plan. But the biggest core value I think that we have is successful people help people. So we're, like we talked about earlier, that's honestly one of our biggest core values, is we help people in whatever aspect they need us. And again, I can't stress enough, like, how unique this industry is for that.
Yep.
Like, we have vacationed in a cabin in Prescott with clients we met through Zillow. Like, they're our best friends.
Yep.
My husband plays golf with this client every week. They're literally best friends. So, you know, again, no matter who we're meeting, what they need, we're going to provide, I mean, obviously not provide their needs for them, but we're going to try to add value to their life in some way. And this is such a unique industry to be able to do that.
Yep.
Not everyone can say that.
Yep.
Your dentist can't provide much value for you, but your
Right.
realtor, you know, it's like,
Yeah.
my clients call me and they're like, I need a guy to put floors in my house. I need this, Ryan, I need this. And I'm like, sure, here's my person, do this. They ask me real questions where I'm able to really help them in their life. And I feel
That's a good
like
point right
that's,
there. I
you
want to tap into that real quick. One thing is that, you know, you said that they come to you for that referral. You're that source. And people need to understand out there that be the resource.
Yes.
Be the connector.
Yes.
Be the one that helps facilitate that. I've said it 1,042 times of it's a human connection, human resource
Yes.
business, and people
Yes.
work with who they know, like, and trust.
Yep.
So be that person that they know, like, and trust, but also be that resource, whether it's adding value,
Yeah.
giving them updates on the market, connecting them with people, being
Yes.
a facilitator. Do those things. But
And when you do those things, they trust you with the market too, because not
Right.
only do my clients call me and say, hey, I need this, or I need a referral for a, you know, flooring guy, or hey, I need to sell my house, you know, because we're leaving and moving to LA or whatever. But
no one's going to LA.
I know, that is true.
I'm just kidding.
Alaska, I don't know.
All due respect to LA.
I know. I just had someone actually move to LA. That's why that popped in my head.
Okay, they're
but,
the one.
when they trust you, then they do call you and say, hey, where's the market at? Like, I'm thinking of selling, or I'm thinking of buying an investment property, or I'm thinking of buying in Flagstaff. What do you know about the market up there? What's happening? They trust you in all areas, not just real estate, but they will call you when it comes to real estate.
Yep.
You know, so.
For sure. I wanted to, you know, back to the, you know, business principles or core values. You know, you hear a lot of, again, very successful people that the foundation of who they are operate, whether it's faith, whether it's some sort of standards or whatever it is, of the foundation of them is based on some principles of just who they are or who their team is or what they stand on. And again, the foundation of them, but also the core values. So I want to encourage everybody out there. I think a lot of, maybe I'm wrong, but I would suspect that a lot of teams do not have crystal clear written core values.
Yeah.
You know, again, who they are and maybe who they're not, right?
Yeah.
And that's something we did several years back, again, as a company, as a brokerage, for everyone around here to just say, like, this is who we are. You can be whoever you want in the real world, so to speak, or outside these walls. But in here, like, this is who we are and this is what we stand for, right? Like, synergy is one of them. Like, we will collaborate. Like, it's just who we are, right? Like,
100%.
you know, things like that. And I think, again, if teams did this as well, I just think it's a really, really positive, productive thing. And, you know, you hire to that, and sadly, sometimes you have to fire to that when they don't match those core values.
And I think as a team lead, what I've learned over the, you know, 6 years that I've done this is, like, when sometimes agents don't match those core values, I feel like I'm so blessed right now. My team is so, like you said, synergized. They're friends. They help each other. They're just there for each other. And I think that's because I finally figured out how to hire the people that have the same core values. There are, you know, I won't hide the fact that, like, I think that, you know, God has put a lot of things in my path that have just basically fallen in my lap because of the way that I choose to kind of live my life. So I don't think that I would offend anybody by saying that's, you know, my life. And I think our team, we do have a lot of good values that mimic the golden rule, do unto others. But I think that as a team lead, you want to learn who on your team kind of exemplifies those core values, and you want to be unified. You want to have kind of the similar type of people that work together, that like each other. And I feel like I finally figured that out last year. People were coming and going, like, all the time, the first several years. But last year we had our best year yet. And, it was my team. I give all the credit to them because I finally figured out, who represents our team, the core values that we have, and can they work together, and can we want to build this together? Yep. And a lot of that is Tim and myself showing up for our agents. Like, I think it's important for team leads to be there and show up and talk to the agents. We run our meetings every single Wednesday. Tim and I run the meeting. We don't have other people that do it because I think it's important that we do that. Now I have a trainer that does additional coaching and things like that, but our team meeting every single week on Wednesday is run by myself and Tim.
Yep.
And I love that because my agents know they can call my cell phone anytime, Tim's cell phone anytime. And we finally figured that out, that the agents we hire not only have to be, good, strong agents, but align with our core values.
Absolutely.
Because then the team grows at this crazy, our team's growing. I have multiple people call me a week, Jeremy, and want to join my team.
Yep.
I have too many. I have to turn people down.
Clearly it's working, right? Clearly it's working. You have a tremendous amount of momentum. You are a great leader, again, leading from the heart.
Thank you.
The team is growing. Production, I think you'll be knocking on 200 million in no time, right? I mean, in the next year or two.
2020.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2028.
Yeah. You're a great business person with great relationships, and putting those in place. You honor them, you serve them, you deliver. So again, all the things we talked about. I mean, you're delivering at a high level, and obviously the track record's there. The numbers show it. That's the lag measure.
Yeah.
But you're doing the lead measure things right. They're going to help us get there, right? And
right.
so, I just want to thank you for coming on and opening this up. Last question for you, though.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
If someone was to follow you around, shadow you for a week, what would be something that surprised them?
Oh gosh, how boring my day can kind of seem.
Yeah.
Because when you have structures and systems finally in place, it is a little repetitive. So when you're functioning in chaos, you really can't be a team leader and function in chaos. Sometimes as an individual agent, before I even met my husband or had a team, I functioned in a lot of chaos. You just put out fires as they come, right? We talked about that.
Yep.
But I think as a team lead and a successful agent, you have to function in consistency. You have to function in, leadership, communication. You have to be consistent. I have a daughter that is special needs. She has autism, and she's pretty much nonverbal. She's 22 years old. She's an adult, and autism causes people to be very consistent, repetitive, do the same thing every single day. She thrives on it. So I don't know if maybe I have brought that over into my business life a little bit, but because of her daily routine and how structured she is and how consistent she is, I found that in business, if I just keep that structure, keep those systems in place, they might be a little surprised at how boring my day is, because I'm like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, I'm going to do this. It's 12 o'clock, I'm going to do this. So, and of course there's phone calls that come in and fires that I put out from, every day. But as a whole, they might be surprised to see that consistency can be a little boring.
The mundane and the consistency is what leads
but
to
it works.
High level of success, and obviously it works. So,
yes, it works. It works.
I want to thank you once again for coming on.
Yes.
Like I said, thank you very, very much. We appreciate you opening up the playbook. Any last things to leave anybody with?
I mean, just help people.
All right.
Sell homes, but if you help people, you're gonna be successful.
All right. Till next time, everybody, keep striving to be made for more. We'll catch you next time. See ya.